And we back like we never left again. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing today?
Man, listen, man. I'm today got me thinking about these kids, man. Yeah, we deal with kids all day long.
Yeah,
that's what we do, man. But it's like sports and kids and the way parents just like living through their kid. Like, so we're gonna start this off. Warm up rep.
All
We
right,
both Little League football was fun.
And we had a blast.
We had a blast. We had a blast with Little
We played
League
for
football.
two different teams though.
Yeah. But you know, and we had some dogs on the team. We had some puppies too.
Real big. A lot of puppies.
Warm up rep, man. What do you for Little League football for you as a coach coaching Little League football? What are the things that you require from your parents when you're coaching Little League football?
One of the things I required from my parents was let me coach, right? Because everybody want to coach. Everybody want to do your job when you're doing a job, right? I tell them, let me coach. Let me guide your kid in the right direction. Please don't scream and yell. You know, I had like even
rules,
like
man?
with 707 because I was on the team. I was playing. My kids were playing for a team called Mid Rivers Eagles in Missouri, and after our coach got kicked.
No, wait.
I don't want to talk about. So after
no names.
After I took over the team, right? I saw that this coach didn't have a lot of rules, right? Because you got to have rules when you're dealing with Little League football because everybody is real sensitive to their babies.
Now wait, we talking about tackle? We talking flag?
We're talking about tackle. Just tackle. We just no 707, just tackle. So the parents are really, really like with their kids. You got to be careful what you say. You know what I mean? Because you could be like, oh, he should have did this or he should have did that, and then you got a fight breaking out in the stands, man. So it's like I try to make sure that they had rules to follow just so that we all can be on the same page. Because that's why I used to have tryouts on my team because I want to make sure.
Now these people paying their money. Now you know dang well.
Yeah, I had tryouts.
Wow.
I had tryouts, man. I had some parents.
Coach teachers out here.
I had parents because I knew what I was providing for those young athletes, and I didn't want the parent to be, causing havoc. Because I had like one parent that was causing havoc, and we went to the Super Bowl, and one of my parents, like when we lost about 7 points, they was like, "Good." So bro, like when you look at these these parents different, bro. Like, so when you're dealing with kids, it got to be really, really scripted out to a point where the parents understand that they can't get out of line because if they do,
these parents
it affect their kids.
And my one full year as a head coach, you see how. Look, you see how it started for me. I'm gonna give y'all the backstory right now.
Go ahead, bro.
So
I want to hear this one.
My one full year as a head coach. It started off slow. I had 5 plays, 4 of them were run plays. The rest of them, the last one was a pass play, and I had a solid defense, and we got blew out them first 2 games. 2 games got blew out. Now, mind you, I got parents coming to me like, "Oh, coach, why aren't we winning?" I never promised you that we were gonna win. My promise is the same stuff we do in training.
Yeah.
I'm gonna prepare your kid, and we're gonna play the right way. Right. I'm going to prepare your kid. We're going to play the right way. Now, we had one team that was running through everybody, just running through people. And they beat us 35-0 during the season. And playoffs came, so obviously, they coach you. But, again, you change the defensive scheme, tell the kids, hey, we're going to run the ball, we're going to run this play. We end up winning 7-6. They scored their touchdown, but they didn't score on their 2-point conversion because we had a scheme, and I taught the kids how to play the right way and have fun. I say all that to say is that I don't think enough youth leagues are having fun and teaching kids to play the right way.
No, it's too serious, man. It's too serious. The game is too serious at the age of 8. So I was like, how was your son when he was playing? About 7, 6?
He was 7, 6, 7. Yeah.
So it's too serious. Like this is the part of time, like in life right now with these kids. You got to make it fun. Like how I make it fun in training, even though it's hard. That's got to be the same. That got to be the same mindset as these parents and these young athletes. They don't know what the heck they're doing. They just having fun. So if the parent is so critical about the win and losses freaking 7 years old, man, something wrong, man. Like, because it's a phase of development, right? You want to see these kids continue to get better over time. And if you're saying that you went 0-2 at the beginning, then that same team that beat you 35-0, I mean, if all the kids were on the same team and all the kids were on your same team, and you were consistent and you turned around and beat them 7-6, that means that you did something correct throughout your season. And if a parent is on the team just to win, that parent is going to be a team hopper or club hopper or whatever you want to call it. Going to be hopping teams until they find that right team, which would never be the right team.
And I don't mind the wins and losses though. I don't mind the losses, the L's, the lessons that come along with that, because to me it's gonna give my kids some character if they can come back and learn how to win after experience those losses. But do you feel that the parents, because I know we're talking about the parents, do you feel like they put too much pressure on their kids to succeed with those L's and those W's in Little League ball?
Yeah, I have parents literally cussing their kids out on the sideline, which is crazy, man. Like, they don't know anything. I mean, in my mind, they just little sponges and they just want to learn. And if you got a parent that's over living their life through their kid, because that's what that is, bro. You living your life through your kid and you want your kid to be great. I understand if you want to live your life through them, but you have to be positive behind it, which is just teaching moments in sports that you should be trying to teach them that. If you worried about them being the best player on the team or the best player in the league, and if they're not, I mean, you got to give that time. If you coach them and train them or have the right people around them to help them get there, then you solid. Now, if you're trying to do it a different way and you're just going to cuss them playing out like you better than that, but you ain't teaching them nothing, that's on you. So you got to figure that part out.
What do you think when it comes to these, again, and I feel like I can't get off the parents, because I won't lie, bro. My problem with youth football, Little League football, select football is parents. It ain't got nothing to do with the kid. No. Because the kid is just out there working their butt off to do the best that they can do at the age that they're at. They're not fully developed. They don't understand how to play the game. They watch football and they go out here and play. They see highlights. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But what do you think, is the main thing that that impacts the kid when it comes to winning at all costs?
This is Terrell Washington, the co-host of the Grindhouse Sports Podcast. We are here to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Restore Hyper Wellness in Murphy, Texas. Check out their studio at 223 FM 544 Suite 806 Murphy, Texas. Thank you to Restore Hyper Wellness for supporting the grind.
Because to me, that's what it feels like the parents is like. It don't matter what, we got to win today. Not you got to learn how to play the right way.
That's not important, man. That's not, winning is not important. And I'm saying that from you hearing this from I'm a freaking competitor, like in everything. And at that age, if they don't learn how to lose, then how they gonna be winners?
They can't be, bro.
They can't be winners. I mean, because if they're winning and winning and winning, as soon as they get that one L in life, like, shoot, they gonna give up. And you don't want your kid to give up. You want your kid to keep pursuing, to keep pushing forward and pressing forward in life. So that's the goal. So when you're going through this journey in sports, if you're winning every single ball game, I mean, I can honestly say that as a coach, I coach my kids the right way. I didn't go for everybody else's kid. I still don't believe in going for everybody else's kid. If the kid want to be a part of the program, then they're part of the program. And they're going to get good coaching. They're going to get loving coaching. They're going to get hard coaching. They're going to get a balance of great coaches that's going to guide them in the right direction. And if you don't want that as a parent and you just want a team that's going to win and not going to teach your kid how to win, so when they get to high school or college level, they poor sportsmanship, then that's what you created, you know what I'm saying? So I look at the right way to coach kids, and I feel like, I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but I'm saying that if you want your kid to be a winner, they got to lose ball games to understand what it takes to win.
Okay. So obviously, like I said, the biggest thing that we're talking about parents, but let's talk about these coaches too. Because a big issue that I have in youth sport is coaching, proper coaching, teaching kids how to block the right way, tackle the right way, handle defeat the right way. Things like, because it can't always be on the parent. Because as much as we want to say, hey, you as parents better teach my kid good sportsmanship and how to, because no one wants to be a solid loser. Because let's be honest,
but there got to be structure behind it, right? It has
you
to
have
be a
to
structure.
know how to handle adversity.
No, the parent need to know how to handle. The kid don't freaking care.
The kid don't care.
The kid don't care about the kid just gonna cry anyway. Oh, we won. Hey, he gonna cry. You know, hey, we win. Hey, we gonna cry. You know, just I just look at it like this, right? If the parent understand the process and the coaches understand the process, it has to be a system, right? Why is it that there's really good schools in Texas and there's really bad schools in Texas?
To me, the reason I'm gonna say this is the player, and the reason when I say the player, I'm talking about those teams are player led. Player led teams are the best teams.
Okay.
And I feel like the teams that have been successful over the years, they've had players who can pass that down, because that comes from home too. That comes from the coaching structure. Those player led teams will be able to pass that down from years to years to years. Whereas if we have a coach led team, kids who are only the coaches that. Those top programs, the coaches aren't the ones that are leading those drills in the off season. It's 50 kids showing up that are leading. That's what the top pro. And sorry if I went off the rails.
No, you fine, bro. Because what I'm about to say to that is that when you're looking at player ran teams, you got peer-to-peer training. You got most kids look up to other kids, right? They don't look up to their parents. They looking at the guy or the kid that's they want to be like. So it's just like when you live in the hood, like you got the guy that's making the most money, so most of the kids look up to who? The guy that's making the most money. So
we can talk about even Grindhouse, where at the strongest, and obviously it's still strong. You still got hella kids still coming in here and doing the thing. But at the strongest, with the kids that we had, the top kids that we had, we didn't have to be here for that training to get started.
No. Never. I can honestly say I could be late, right? Yeah. You know, I got a life, I got kids, I got, they doing stuff, I got daughters. So sometimes I have to call my athlete, or I pick up a kid up. I remember one time I was out in Allen. One of my parents got stuck in traffic. Stuck in traffic. Her car broke down. Her car had broke down, and I was like, well, I'm gonna be a good citizen and go grab the kid. But then I'm looking, okay, well, her mom didn't have the tow company coming to pick her car up, or help her out. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll take y'all back to your place, or take you back to the facility when your mom come back, and she can just come to the facility and pick her up. And I knew I had to train the kid, so I'm like, I'm gonna be a bit late. I'm gonna have them train with some other kids, and we're gonna go from there, right? Just understanding that, right? I didn't even have to be at training. The kids already started training. I get the training. I say, what are y'all, where do I need to start? Where we at? They say, oh, we right here, coach. And I just jumped in right at the end of there. Boom, we worked out. So when you're talking about that, right, that's important, because those younger kids look up to those older kids, especially the ones that come back from college, man. It's a blessing to be able to say my older athletes come back and contribute, right? They run some of my training sessions. They come back and work with some of the younger kids. We're building a process where we can be able to have camps, like for those older kids to come in and have their own camp for Grindhouse and kind of work with these kids in the community, man. You can't ask for no more than that, man. Be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the character that we're building as trainers, as men in the community, is building that character of that. I'm not gonna always be here to lead you.
Right.
I tell my kids all the time, and they think it's morbid, but that I'm gonna be gone one day, and I need to make sure that every lesson that I've given you, that you're able to retain. Whether you use it or not, it's up to you.
It's up to you, yeah.
But that you have the lessons, and I think a lot of things that what we had growing up is, and it's funny when you think about this, where like a lot of us, I had a dad in the home, but he was doing other stuff.
Right.
Like, a lot of dads were out working or doing other things, or some people didn't have dads in the home at all. But it was always guys in the community that looked out for the youth.
Yeah.
And I think that is the thing where good coaching in Little League, where it matters, where you have positive men who are actually doing things. Now, the other side of that, though, is when you have violence in these sports for Little League, where you get coaches shooting other coaches, or
That's sad.
and you have coaches fighting referees. And what am I teaching my player at that point?
I say those guys are doing that. They selfish as heck, man. Just because when you're looking at you building character, right? You're really building character in these young athletes, right? At this time in their life, they don't know nothing, right? So they're looking at you as their hero. And if they're looking at you as their hero and you all of a sudden you going to be selfish and you want to do something that's going to dictate, or you worried about what the call was by the referee. Bro, these referees, they're not professional referees. They are learning how to ref a freaking game. And if you take it to that level, or take it to that level with that coach, and you guys get in a fight or something like that that's going on, like, what examples are you setting for the young men and the young women that you're coaching? Like, that is not an example setter. That's somebody that's being selfish and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And when you got kids involved, you got to be a leader. You can't act like anybody else. You know, like, you got to be, if you're a leader and a mentor in your community, you got to lead by example. You can't go and lead and do something dumb like that, man, where it affects not just you, but now it's a ripple effect in everybody. So you got the community is affected. You got the kid. You got the kid with no parent now. Or if you you hurt him too bad, you got the kid that looked up to you, and all of a sudden now his life is ever changed because he saw what that happened in that little space in that time.
Football. That's what happened in football is violence.
Yeah,
and not even the good violence, not the contact, but violence.
Yeah.
You know what? If it don't go my way, it's kind of like the Alabama game this year when they played Vanderbilt when the kid crashed. I think I said it's another podcast, but same thing where you upset that you lost the game. I'm going here. I'm gonna kick the ball. I'm gonna go do all this stuff. Where does that fit into football? Where does that fit into sportsmanship? Where does it fit into life?
It doesn't.
You know,
because at the end of the day, your life is not going to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think nobody's life is perfect. You know, if your life is not going to be perfect, you're going to be dealt with adversity, right? You're going to see different things that's going to happen. Different things are going to happen in the midst of a game, right? But as an adult, you have to be a leader and set those examples for those younger athletes, because those younger athletes are not just looking at the game, they're looking at you as their leader. You got to lead and guide them in the right direction. If you feel like you put on this earth to work with little kids, if you don't want to be a little league coach, bro, it's optional.
Yeah, like, you're a volunteer.
Optional. You don't have to do it. Like, you do this from the kindness of your heart, and if you don't like it that season, just don't do it, man, because these kids need good role models in their life that can help guide them in a direction that they want to go. That's your job as a mentor. And I can go all the way back from when I was playing at Herbert Hoover Boys Club, right? There was a guy in my neighborhood, right? I used to go hang out on the corner with my friends. I thought was my friend. So I go hang out on the corner. And one time he came up to me. His name was Bumsy, right? We call him Bumsy. He came up to the corner. He said, "Hey man, you ain't like those dudes. Like, why are you hanging out with them?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I mean, I'm just my friends, you know. Like, I'm 11, 12 years old, I guess at the time." He walked me down the street. He said, "Hey man, you got a future ahead of you. You playing football. You dedicated to football. I see you walking up and down the street to go to the boys club to go to practice. I see something different in you." And you remember those kangaroos? They had those kangaroo cleats.
Yeah.
So I had some kangaroo cleats, and he was like, I think he gave me like about $50 or something like that. And he said, "Hey,
man, you out here taking bribes, man?"
No bribes, bro. No, it would just kind of let me know like he cared about me. Yeah. I guess that's a way of him showing that, hey, you ain't nothing like them, man. Let's just do this, right? I'm gonna be a leader in the community. And he was a fireman or something like that.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. And he pulled me to the side, told me, "Hey, I don't like you hanging on those corners because anything can happen on those corners. Yeah. I want you to kind of just play football, go to school, go up to the club and do those things." And I was like, okay, cool. I mean, that's all it took for me is, okay, well, shoot, he gave me $50 too as well. You know, that's a nice little perk for a kid, you know what I'm saying? But I opened up my little pocket on my kangaroos. Yeah. It wasn't a zipper. It was like the Velcro strap, set that money in there, man. I went to the club and started buying up some stuff. So, no, but I would say this, man. When you're dealing with, when you're dealing with this game, right? Or it has to be football. It could be basketball. I've seen it in basketball too. The leaders of the team are always going to be the coaches. And if the coaches don't want to do their job, I say, don't do their job. And if you don't want to do this, it's not like you have to. Yeah. If you don't have a kid on the team, because most of the time, most coaches have a kid on the team. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a kid on the team and you're doing it from the kindness of your heart, hey, kudos to you, bro. I respect you. I respect you, ma'am, if that's what you're doing. That's what this is about. It's not about wins or losses. It's about developing young athletes and guide them in the right direction.
Yeah. And even with that, because I want to get to some positives about it, but I want to, one more, because we actually haven't even talked about the game. Right. We talked about the players. Like, what's some other risks that you see that some of our youth face when it comes to this, to the youth football? To me, and I'm gonna start off a little bit here. It's injury risk.
Correct.
Because especially if you don't have good coaching,
yeah.
Who knows how to teach you how to play the game the correct way.
Yeah.
That you run into concussion risk, or you don't have proper trainers there. If I was to go and sprain my ankle, like, oh, you're all right, man, walk that off and things like that.
I mean, hurt it all.
Yeah. So what's some other risks that you see when it comes to youth football?
The risk that I see is that it's not enough people educated in youth sports. Mm-hmm. So I say, when I was coaching, I want to say they had something called Heads Up Football, teaching kids how to tackle, proper tackling techniques, understanding the processes of if you got a kid that's injured, how to adjust that, how to know a sprain from a broken leg. And I just say, I think a lot of people should take a quick tutorial or something like, that's going to help them make sure the kid is in the best position ever. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the W's. And I mean, do you remember when you played Little League ball? Do you remember your record playing Little League ball?
Nah. I remember my coaching record, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago. But so that's what I'm talking about, right? So you're not going to remember, like, you're going to be, plus you ain't going to want to talk about, hey, man, when I was in Little League, I was a beast.
Right.
But you're not a beast in high school.
I was 11.
So when you're looking at this, that process, man, I say the risk that are in Little League, I will say the biggest risk is the adults not understanding or knowing how to adjust to things that happen, right? Yeah. You got a kid that got a concussion. You don't go tell him go shake it off and go back out there. You can tell him, go, hey, you do all your cues and tests and see if the kid is okay, because that's why we had a drop in Little League sports and football just due to kids having concussions. So,
well, not even just that. You're looking at heat exposure. People not
understanding that.
Looking at dehydration and stuff like that. Not understanding what heat stroke looks like and things like that. Like, we grew up. We didn't get water.
No.
And with these kids, and I'm not saying. Of course, you got your people who think it's soft or whatever. And this ain't got to do with soft. It's us being knowledgeable now. Yeah. Imagine how better we could have performed if we had the same knowledge that we have.
Just having somebody tell me, hey, man, you need to probably take a snack before you go to practice, or making sure you hydrate throughout the day. Just having those important conversations, because I still get kids that come into training cramping up, throwing up, and all this other. I say, what did you eat today? Oh, I ate nothing. I don't eat nothing.
Had some cereal.
Like, when? This morning? They something? Yeah, and this morning. Like, okay, that's not good enough for you, right? So if you're not educated on how to hydrate your body or what type of foods to eat before training or practice, we doing a disservice to these young athletes.
Yep.
Like, so I think we as an adults have to do our study, have to do an understanding of how to make sure we properly educate these young athletes on the things that they need.
And make sure you have more than one coach out there, because that's the one thing I can say with me. When I was coaching, I was the only coach. And the thing about it is that, and it's not for the sense of being able to coach the game. I need help to know if someone's hurt, because now I still have to focus on the remaining players that's on this field. So I need to know if someone's hurt or something, or what's going on the sideline and things like that. Like, don't if parents, these people are volunteers. Yeah. Don't limit yourself to I just want to see wins and losses, and I don't want to get involved, and I don't know.
I don't know too much. I don't know too much about sports.
This ain't about knowing about sports, but you know about your kid.
Yeah.
And you know about kids and what they need at that time. And what they need at a lot of those times is someone to make sure that they're okay in order to do this the correct way.
Correct.
So even like I said, and before we stop, because I'm going to get this, I'm going to get a couple comments here. Like, what's some of the benefits of youth football? What do you see as just like, you know what, youth football is great because of this?
You're teaching kids discipline. You're teaching kids accountability. You're teaching kids how to focus. You're teaching kids about playing together as a team. And most of those things I just hit, you're preparing them for life, just due to the fact that most kids need to know how to work in an environment where they're working with people. Mm-hmm. So that's the cool thing about it, is that the perks is that you're learning something over time, and it's consistently over time, right? Mm-hmm. 7th grade all the way up to freaking high school, you're learning how to work with others. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you go into the working world, that's why they say people that play sports are the best people to bring onto a job. It's because of that reason, because they know how to play as a team. They know how to be accountable. They know how to be disciplined. They know how to stay focused on the task. That's the reason why a lot of people love athletes when they hire in an entry-level position, because those entry-level positions going to be, those guys are going to be the managers and the supervisors and the leaders of that company in the future, because they're already been taught those skills.
Yeah. A few more things to kind of add to that. I love that it builds character. I love that it builds discipline and responsibility, kind of things you already. It actually helps prevent injuries.
Correct.
You know, when you have people who are doing it the right way, and you know, it's one of those things where, you know, if youth football is taught the correct way, if it's trained the correct way, if you have the right people from day one, yes, until you leave high school, the love that these people have for sports. Yeah, and, you know, it's crazy how much you love the sport so much more, because you've had people who've helped you do it the right way, and you remember all those people. Yeah, you also remember people who may have helped you do it the wrong way too.
Yeah, and I remember those people too. I mean, I can name.
Yeah,
it's
a lot.
But I ain't gonna name them. But I'm just saying in general.
Not now, not today. But we know you.
Yeah, we know exactly who you are. You know, but you know, the cool thing about the sports life is, you know, like I said, I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. The great thing about it is that you're gonna meet a lot of great people, man. And along this journey, everybody's not trying to dig in your pockets. Everybody's like, you know, really want to genuinely help you and guide you in the right direction. And that's what sports is all about, just having those right people in your circle that's going to help put you in the right position as a youth, man. Like I told you before, like episode 1 or 2, the coaches that made a big impact on my life and was there to help me in this process. It's not enough money that I can have to give to those guys that shows my gratitude to them because of the things that they've done for me. And me getting a degree on top of a scholarship to go to college, bro, that's priceless, man. Yeah. That journey, you know what I mean? When I walked across stage and I didn't have to pay anything back in tuition-wise, I just walked across stage like, dang, I don't have to pay anything back. You know how deep that is, man? You know how many people going to college right now to this day, leaving school with a $276,000 bill?
Yeah, you know, they get a degree, and actually they don't even give you the degree, they just give you the bill. You get the degree later on, once you pay this bill.
Once you pay this bill. So. And that's the messed up part about all of this, man. Like, you playing a sport, like I say, I get it, everybody. It's a lot of people that are smart. Everybody, they want to go academically. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great perk. But if you play a sport, it's great for you to play a sport and to be really smart, because now those two go hand in hand, and sky's the limit for you as an athlete. I just say, I encourage, you know, for young athletes to understand that, hey, if this is the route you want to take and your parent is there to guide and lead you in the right direction, that's awesome. But if you got, as a parent, I'm talking to you as a parent, the parents out there, if you got a kid and you forcing this kid to do something that they're not willing or not being successful at the moment, just pull back and just be patient. Be patient and wait on this young athlete to become the athlete that you want him to be or her to be, because this is not a you just get better tomorrow, like or this year.
It takes time.
This all takes time, and it's based off of development and understanding of the sport that they're playing. So parents, just be patient, all right? Be patient for those parents that's ready for that athlete to be the star. And sometimes that star always dwindle out by high school.
All right, well, listen. We're going to end it right there. I'm going to tell you the route y'all need to take. You need to take the route of liking, sharing, subscribing. Take the route of what's the route that they can find?
The route, you got to go to the Grindhouse ST on IG and Twitter, right? So that's the route that you need to take. Also, we're on Facebook. We're old men. So, hey, you want to check us out on the Grindhouse?
He be on Facebook doing all that.
I do be on. I ain't gonna lie. You got to be on the Grindhouse the Grindhouse Sports Training on Facebook. Also, we're on Twitter. On TikTok as well. Go ahead and check us out. We got little highlights and little videos, but also you got to check the podcast out. That's the most important thing that you need to be on. Like, you got to tune in. You got to check out what we're saying.
Share it to your friends.
Share it with your friends. Like,
share it to your mama.
This is not a secret, right? We want you to hear this stuff because a lot of people got a lot of pressure on themselves, and it doesn't make sense. Like, we can help you walk through this journey if you just listen to the podcast. All right?
All right, y'all. With that, let's grind to shine, and we out.
Peace.
That's gonna be fun for.
It's still recording. I just don't know how to stop it.
Why is it still saying starting?
You do nothing either. Just push start.
Go ahead and leave it again. See what happens.
Still taking.
Oh no. Go ahead and go to leave again.
Leave again.
Yeah. We'll come back to it.
In session full or leave studio?
In session.
This is Terrell Washington. Thank you for tuning in to the Grindhouse Podcast. If you are enjoying our show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our content on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, and all other podcast platforms. Remember, you must grind to shine.